Hi, I'm Morwin, and in this video I'm making a mid to late 15th century Gothic breastplate, based on these examples I'm showing on screen now. I start by dishing the lower placard. I'm using a large hammer. I don't know what it's really for, but it has a rounded face and I really like to use it for this kind of dishing. Also, I'm sorry for any weird background noise. I'm on the train while doing this voiceover, so excuse any of that, but please enjoy. I have this sort of upper placard that I also dish lightly with the same hammer. Yeah. And here I take the main breastplate piece and I start dishing that too, also with the same hammer. And while there's not a lot of curve in either piece, when put together they will, the curves will add on to each other and you'll get a good amount of curve in them. I have now fitted them to each other and screwed them together, and I have drawn out where I'm going to put the flutes on this thing, as you can see. Now I am doing the central ridge of the breastplate, making that really sharp and pronounced. Now I'm marking out the flutes. I'll only be showing this piece, but I'm doing it on all the pieces and all the flutes. I'm just following the line with a chisel, a blunt chisel, as to not cut through it, to mark the line. And then I go over my hammer, which I use as a stake, to sharpen those flutes up. Yeah, as you can see here. Here now I am rolling the upper edge, and I'll be rolling all edges of the breastplate, or at least like the arm size and the neck. Here I'm doing the neck. But sadly my phone battery died halfway through and I didn't notice, so you only get to see the first part of the edge rolling. Now that all edges are rolled and all flutes are in, I go over the whole thing with my angle grinder and a grinding wheel, going very lightly, a very light pass over everything. I don't want to go too deep or thin the material, I only want to scratch the surface of it. I also have this kind of wheel, I don't know what it's called in English or in Swedish, but yeah, it's the flaps of sandpaper that I have as a drill bit, and I go over the whole surface, and this really smoothens out the kind of rougher grinding marks from the angle grinder. Yeah. The final step here is sanding it. So I go with a WD-40, or really any kind of oil works. Historically here in Sweden they would have used seal oil, but I use WD-40. And then I go over the whole surface with a sanding block. You can start at coarser grits and work up to a finer grit. I use a kind of fine, I don't remember what it is, but a kind of fine grit. But not super fine, and it really like ties the whole thing together. It ties the whole surface finish together, makes it look really nice. Here now I'm filing some details on the peaks of the placard, giving a nice little design. I didn't really have a plan going in, I just knew I wanted something, so I'm kind of making it up as I go. Yeah. Now I'm riveting the placard to the breastplate. Everything is screwed together. I have made a sliding rivet, so which means it's a long hole where the rivet sits, and a wide washer, so the placard can slide up and down just a little bit. And now here I'm adding the leathers to the sides. So I'm riveting on the leathers to the side of the breastplate using roofing nails as rivets. The large heads lend themselves quite well for riveting leather, as it doesn't pull through as easily and you don't need washers for them. And then on the piece where I screwed it together, it gets a decorative rivet that makes it look like it's riveted to each other, but actually it's the leathers. And here I'm doing the last rivet, or like the last row of rivets on the leathers on each side there. You can see I've already attached the straps, but I forgot to film. And here I'm just loosening it up a bit, and there's the finished piece. Thanks for watching.